Hello fellow Rosarians, thank you for joining me today. It has been a while since I've been in front of the camera and I wasn't sure when, if ever, I was going to be ready again. But I've decided that as part of my healing, I need to get back into the garden and I need to start being with my roses again. But before I do that, I wanted to share with some of you what's been going on in my life. It's very personal. And some of you may be asking why I would want to share it. I want to share it because so many of you have reached out that know that for one reason or another Googled me and found it a couple of months ago, what I've been going through, the struggles. And I really just want to share it on my terms. And I also want to share hope for anybody else who is struggling with loss, that I'm here with you. It's been a really tough year, and I know that my garden is waiting for me. I haven't been able to be in my garden since February, but it's waiting, and I can't wait to unleash the blooms with you. But before we get started, I just want to make sure that if you're watching this video because you want to see blooms, this is not the video for you. If you are looking for a happy video, this is not the video for you. This is a video that's going to talk about some sadness in my life for those that want to share it with me. I want to show you the house here, and then I'm going to go around back so that you can see that also. Keep in mind this view here because I will be talking about the garage. But let's go out back real quick and I'll finish the video out there. Before I sit down, this is the waterfront side of the house. But let me go ahead and sit down here real quick. Hopefully the sun will stay out of the way. So, where were we? So, I've gotten rid of everybody now that wants happy and blooms. And those that are with me now are hopefully rosebuds that just want to support me during a really difficult time. And you may be asking why I want to share such a difficult time in my life, but I really want to share just the tragedy. And I've talked to so many people who have lost a loved one and they can't get into their garden again, or it takes a while. And so I want to share with you how long it's taken me. So let's talk about the love story with my husband. Ken and I met when we were 12 and we were high school sweethearts, married, 2 kids, love of my life, made me laugh every day. And every single time I looked at him, my heart just pounded. I mean, he was everything to me. And we were married for 29 years this year, and even just talking about him makes me smile. So we knew each other for 40 years, and it was a little over 10 years ago that Ken was diagnosed with bipolar, which was the craziest thing because it was such a late diagnosis that at 40, we should have seen something, you know, when he was growing up, but there was nothing that we really could put a finger on. What? Come here, sweetie. So, let's see. So, you know, Ken, took the bipolar diagnosis and got medicated. And so for 10 years, it's just been great. You know, there's good days, bad days, but for all intents and purposes, it's been great. So at my urging, which I have regrets, last fall, I asked Ken to consider seeing a new doctor, just to see if there's any new meds out there and just to get a second opinion. And so he did. And, lesson learned, when they prescribe medication for you, you need to look at that medication and really ask questions. And we didn't. We were just trusting and naive and took the medicine, only to find out later that they were not treating Ken for bipolar. They were just treating him for anxiety. Didn't know it. And I was too close to him to see the cycling and the problems and increased drinking to help counteract the symptoms that he was having. And so fast forward to February, and in February, Ken had a bipolar break, and during that bipolar break, he allegedly lit a fire that took down that garage area that I showed you. And Ken and I had built an apartment. We were living there because the following week we had scheduled framers and builders to come and frame up our house just a week after. So they were all lined up and ready to go, but that fire took down the whole house, and Ken didn't remember any of it that entire night. Woke up in the hospital with no memory of it, and I can't imagine how that must have felt for him. It's like a bad nightmare or a movie, you know, somebody doing something like this and then having no memory of it. I mean, he must have just been devastated, and I know he was. So, unfortunately, during that fire, my sweet Dolores didn't make it, and I was devastated, just absolutely devastated. Not only for Dolores, what Ken was going through, the stigmatism from everybody in the neighborhood, feeling like I was being shunned. All of our valuable things that we didn't want in storage for the renovation were in this house. So it's helped me to reassess my life on what's truly important. When I thought it was the china and the crystal and the family heirlooms and all of these things, it wasn't. You know, Ken and I were working through it, and we were going to be together, and I assured him that this was just one more hiccup. And, you know, a lot of people would say, if I were in your shoes, or if that was my husband, but you don't realize until you're actually walking in those shoes what you would do. And in my heart, I knew there was no way that I could leave this man that was so sweet and kind, that never said a bad thing to me my entire life. I could, you know, weigh 300 plus pounds and he would tell me how beautiful I was. I could be mad, so mad, and he would say, "You are so pretty when you're mad," and I would just laugh. He made me laugh every day, and nobody ever saw Ken as violent or unkind. They actually thought of him as a sweet man. So enough about that. I could honestly go on about Ken for a really long time. So we were working through it, and I, you know, was building the house and making sure that I took all that stress on him so that he could focus on sobriety and, you know, his healing. And as we got closer to September, the legal system wanted to prosecute Ken, which is just ridiculous. They wanted to prosecute him for burning down the house while he was having a bipolar break and not medicated. And I don't understand. I don't know if I will ever understand it. And he had a lawyer that never said anything that was positive, anything for him to look forward to. So Ken thought that he was going to be in jail for the rest of his life for something that he didn't even remember. And so fast forward, here we are, and Ken decided 2 weeks ago that the Lord was calling him home, and Ken took his life. And I thought the worst day of my life was the fire. But I was wrong. So I've had a couple of, 2 weeks or so now. And I should probably say, that while all this was going on with the fire and trying to heal from the fire, I just haven't wanted to be in the garden. And I really just wanted to get through the construction of building the house as quickly as possible. And I could probably pan it here for you really quick. Let me turn it. Do you see blooms over there? I mean, there are blooms. And what I want to share with you all is, I haven't, Rose Geek, 1,000 roses, I have not wanted to be in my garden because of what I'm going through. Now, I would walk through briefly and just take a look, make sure there's no rose rosette or anything crazy going on. But I knew that my garden would be there when I was ready. And so I wasn't ready, from February until now, and it's the end of August, and of course, perfect timing, mosquitoes and horse flies are coming in. I'm ready now. And so, for those of you that are like in it with something terrible in your life, don't worry about the garden. I mean, it can be completely overgrown. It'll be waiting for you, even if it's a year or longer. So it's been 7 months or so, and I'm going to start this weekend, and I'm so excited. And I want to take you along for that journey and my healing with my garden. And everybody says take it one step at a time. And I agree, it's one step at a time. But I'm going to be calling it one bed at a time because, with a garden like this, it would be easy to get overwhelmed. But I'm going to take it one bed at a time and try not to get too stressed out. And in all transparency, I am hiring somebody to come tomorrow. I'm praying that they'll come because I need somebody to help me weed. I want to focus on the roses. And so I want somebody to pull weeds for me while I do some things that are a little bit more fun. So I just want to be honest about that I will have help, and I hope that they can do it in one day. But I hope that sharing my story with you didn't make too many of you sad. But if it did, thank you for crying with me. I will be okay, and I have faith in God's plan for me and my future. And when we talk about the stages of grief, everybody goes through grief in a different way, and I'm working through where people say, are you angry? How could I be angry at Ken? I feel so thankful that I had 40 years with the love of my life. I haven't lost faith in God. I've only lost faith in the legal system and some of the medical providers. But other than that, I am going to be fine. And I'm so thankful for the Rose community and for everybody that has reached out and sent cards and kind words. And today, today I got a box. So I thought that let's do something rosy and let's open a box from Grace Rose Farm. I do have something else to share with you that's kind of exciting and exhausting. When Dolores passed, I was so sad that I wanted another golden retriever. And I went a little bit overboard. It took 2 golden retrievers to replace the hole in my heart that I had for Dolores. And now I have 2 puppies that are 5 months old, and I'm so exhausted. But I can't wait for you to meet them. They're just not out here with me right now because it's nap time and I needed them to take a nap. I feel like a single mother with twins right now. But Miller is so happy to have a friend again. So thank you, Gracie. Sending our condolences to you and your family, Ryan, Gracie, and Serafina. Thank you so much. Let's share how pretty these are. So the girls keep me busy. We go to the dog park every day, and I'm renting right across the street so that I can be here as often as I can muster the strength. Even living right across the street, you guys, if you're going through anything, it is so hard to muster the strength to get into the garden. I feel for you, I really do. Okay, so this is Romantic Antique. Oh, I can't wait to get these beauties in some water. Hold on. Oh, look. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Oh, I can't wait for them to open up. All right, let's look at the next one. And I think as part of my healing, we would kind of chuckle with Ken about the eagle. I'm gonna have to find something special for the eagle to make sure that it is prominent in the garden. And I think for people who are going through sadness, with my issue specifically with the fire, what added to it was that it was rework of gardens that I was happy with. And so redoing that has been difficult for me. Oh, look at that pretty light pink. But then while all this was going on, this is Juliet, while all of this sadness over the past week, we get that notice that Palatine is not going to be selling after this year. I was so sad about that. I emailed Rachel and I said, my order is going to be huge this year, absolutely huge, for one last hurrah buying from Palatine. Princess Maya. I've never seen this one in person. I hope you can see this color on the camera. Oh, I'm sure that let me pull it back here. The sun is going to ruin it, but it's a buttercream yellow with an apricot center. That's so pretty. Never-ending roses. Gosh, what a wonderful gift. Princess Maya. Romantic Antique. So there's 12 of each, so that means that they sent 24 of each of these varieties. Because I've kept the fire so private, I'm sure that Gracie doesn't know that I don't have a vase big enough, but I'll find something. You know, I'm gonna be doing a lot of shopping in the future. Thank you so much, Gracie. That was really sweet. So I really hope that that this helped someone out there that watches my videos. Thank you for letting me share. Thank you for crying with me and allowing me to cry. And I look forward to taking it one bed at a time with you this next season. Thanks so much, Rosebuds. I'll see you in the next video.